Hi guys! Okay, so for today's vlog, we will be talking about one of the most famous Greek mythology stories. I actually I actually find Greek mythology funny because of the complicated roots of this family. So Zeus is one Zeus is actually Cronus and Rhea's child, right? So is Demeter, who is the mother of Persephone, which is which turns out to be the niece of Zeus but also her daughter. So Demeter is an Olympian goddess of the harvest and agriculture. She presides crops, grains, food, and even fertility on earth. So Persephone is actually a really beautiful young girl. However, this beauty actually caught the attention of her uncle Hades, who is the king of underworld at the time.
I like emphasizing that Persephone is actually Hades' niece. I just like to emphasize it. So
Because of her beauty, Hades actually desires her niece Persephone to be his bride. So then Hades approached Zeus, who is Persephone's father and Hades' brother, to ask for her hand in marriage. Zeus actually gave permission to Hades without consulting Demeter, Persephone's mom. So the girl herself, meanwhile, was happily playing with her friends in a grassy meadow. Because Persephone's hobby is picking up flowers that grew there. And then suddenly, the ground gaped open before Persephone, and from the yawning chasm rushed Hades, the king of underworld, in his chariot. So Hades actually seized or abducted Persephone and plunged her back under the earth and into the darkness. So Hades took Persephone and his kingdom. But then Persephone actually cried out desperately for help, calling on her father, the king of the gods, to save her. Zeus, however, because he's actually the one who gave permission to Hades, he had placed himself out of the way and was at one of his temples receiving offerings from the mortal. The only deities to witness her abduction were Helios, the son of God, who sees all, and the kindly goddess Hecate, who actually heard Persephone's cry. And then, while Zeus is busy taking offerings from the humans, his child, his daughter Persephone, is crying out for help, and he didn't even mind it. And then this news actually wrecked Demeter. So as Persephone was drawn into the darkness, Demeter caught the tail end of her despairing cry, realizing that someone had taken her daughter. So Demeter tore the veil that covered her head, flung off her dark cloak, and went flying with a bird over land and sea in search for her beloved daughter. At this time, I was actually, while reading this, I actually pitied Demeter for not knowing what was happening to her daughter because of her brother, who is also her husband, Zeus. So for 9 days, Demeter wandered over the earth bearing a torch in each hand, searching and asking everyone she met, whether god or mortal, if they had seen her daughter. All those she asked were either unable to tell her what happened, or else unwilling to tell her what had happened because of the fear of Zeus, because since who wouldn't be afraid for the king of underworld. So all those she asked were either unable to tell her what had happened, or else unwilling for fear of the wrath of Zeus. In all that time, Demeter did not refresh herself with ambrosia or nectar, or did not even wash her body with water. I felt sad for the mother, right? This is mother's love, something I've never felt before. So on the morning of the 10th day, Demeter was met by the goddess Hecate. You know Hecate, the one who heard Persephone cry? Hecate confirmed that she had heard Persephone being abducted, but had not been able to see who it was, who took her. Together, the two goddesses approached Helios, the sun god, who was able to see everything, and stood before the horses of his chariot. Demeter asked Helios if he had any regard for her, to tell her truthfully what he had witnessed, for he sees all the things that has happened on earth below his soaring chariot. So Helios responded to Demeter's request and told her what he had seen. He then counseled Demeter to come to terms with what had happened. Hades was not a bad match for her daughter, Thou, being ruler over all the dead and Demeter and Zeus' own brother. Sweet home Alabama.